All right, we are now ready to start building out our proposal for our customer. So again, we're going to jump into our customer's profile, and now we are ready to go over to their actual proposal. So most of the time, you're not going to see a proposal already put in like this. It will be blank, and then we'll have to do a new proposal. Um, but this is also where you can utilize your proposal templates. If you wanted to utilize one of those, would be a great time to do so right now. So once you figure out exactly with your proposal templates, with helical push beer, poly, whatever it is, all you have to do is come in here and go to import proposal, and then it's going to pop up this menu. And like I know Caitlin has some, so let's use Caitlin's push beer template. We're going to take that, hit import, and it's going to pop up right here. So you can see once we go in here, it's going to show all the items that she has within that template that I don't have to go get and find and everything else. So it makes it super quick and easy for me to build this out. And then all I got to do is enter my amounts and we're good to go. But let's say I don't have any templates yet, or I just really like spending extra time building out proposals, and I just need to create a new one. So we're going to go into new proposal. And then from here, it's going to give you a blank worksheet. So you see you've got nothing in here for cost codes, unit quantity, all this fun stuff. So what's great is Buildertrend allows us to go ahead and preload dollar amounts and markup percentages and all that stuff for you guys. So most of that work is already going to be done, which is super convenient. What's also nice is if you come over here to the various tabs that you have, you can see that we have a lot of the text and verbiage and stuff already in the contract that you don't have to go back in and edit or add or anything like that. So again, saves a ton of time, makes your proposal look very professional, very clean. And if we wanted to see an overview, we could go to preview. And again, it's just going to show all the text, all the add-ons, everything like that once we get to that point. And then payment is, if they accept it, we're going to add a payment right then and there. Most time you won't have to worry about this tab. This will be something that happens after the fact where they can call in to our office, to the finance department, and then take care of their down payment. All right, back to the worksheet. So we're starting out with a blank template. First thing we're going to do is click this middle button here where it says no item selected, and we're going to have a pop-up thing. Now you can scroll through all of these cost codes that are in here, or if you start understanding what items you want or need, you can come up here and type it in. So let's say we need a mobilization. And once you have it selected, you're going to come over here to this little white box, and it's going to give you options as far as like actual cost codes with prices. Because if you look at it before, yeah, it selected one, but it doesn't have any price, doesn't have any verbiage or anything like that. So that's where this comes into place. So you're going to come into here, select this project mobilization. You can do whichever one you want, or hit add. And as soon as we do that, it's going to add all our verbiage. You can grab this and drop it down into that spot, as well as the costs associated with it and everything like that. But now let's say for this project, we're only going to go out roughly 2 days to do this project. We really don't need a $5,000 mobilization. Let's say we're going to do $1,000, $500 a day, $1,000. So we're going to come in here and you can select this little paper clip and go edit line item. Now it removes that, but then it also opens up where you can edit the unit cost. So we're going to come in and, like I said, we're going to still only do one mobilization, but we're going to charge $1,000. You could also, let's say we were going to charge the 2 mobilizations because we think we're going to get done in 2 days. Change that to 500, and we can have that mobilization at 2. Again, you're going to get the same answer or same amount associated with it based on that. Now, let's say there's something within this verbiage or this text that you need edited. Like, let's say we're going to close up this line, simply go in, edit it, delete it, and you can add it back in there. Like I said, all this is going to be customizable on your end. We put the basic verbiage for almost anything in there, and then you can go in and change whatever you need to after that. All right, once that's done, let's say we need to add push peer. Again, we're not going to search all the way through that. We're just going to start writing push, and there it is. Now, when this pops up, you can see that there's two separate items. One says office use only. You will not use the office use only line items ever in a proposal. So do not use that. Another thing that you want to look for is most of the time with the way things are sorted, it's going to be sorted by group. So you're going to say foundation repair, push pier. If we did a helical pier, it's going to say foundation repair and then the types of helical piers that are there as well. So again, we try to classify everything accordingly so that way it can easily be found and sorted. So we're going to select push pier and we're going to add that as well. Come into here. Now you're going to see two different price points here. So you're going to see push pier DC and push pier alone. DC means depth clause. So we only allow for this one up to 21 feet of installation, as you can see in the verbiage. This one is unlimited. This is the one that you're wanting to sell your customer every time, because doing add-ons or change orders for additional pier depth is not fun. Not from your customer, not for the office. It's very time consuming. More than likely, we're not going to get our money back even close to this $2,400 anyway. So it ends up costing you money in the long run. All right, so we're going to select push pier. We're going to hit add. It's going to pop up the same stuff that we had up here, all the preloaded text, as well as the pricing. Now, let's say we're having 10 of these, and all you got to do is enter in the amount. Automatic, bam, there's your proposal. And that's done. Let's say this is, we can keep adding stuff, whatever we need to on this, but this is stuff that we can continue to do. Now, what's nice is you can add internal notes to these things where your customers won't read them or be able to see them. So like internal notes here, because right here we're raising the price just because of material cost increase. So that way we know the date of when it happened and why it's happening. And we can kind of monitor it. So it'll come to here. Now the next step, let's say we're done building this out and the project's going to be $25,000. We're going to come over here to format, and right below here you're going to see prepared by. This is where you're going to need to put in your name and your contact information, because Buildertrend does not allow us to do individualized templates. We can only use one template for everybody, so this is as efficient as we can get it for the time being until they do additional updates. So I always do my name. I always do my phone number. And then I'm going to put my first name or whatever my email address is right there. Now, this person has every way that they need to get a hold of you right there. So they have your name, they have your phone number, and then they have your email. So if they need to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you. Now, as we go through here, it shows us the licensing information that we have with our company, and that's all going to be on the top line. Now, the secondary lines down here, again, you can come here, grab this, and then drag it down to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. And then you can read through all the mumbo jumbo stuff within the contract. Highly recommend you read all of it so that way you understand what's in there. The biggest thing that you will need to worry about is going to be within the conditional notes and the exclusions. So we always have these defaulted in there. Obviously, if you're not doing a peering project, you can delete these out because it does not pertain to that scope of work that we are proposing to do. And then same with the contract exclusions. Sometimes you will need to delete some of these out. If you are doing prevailing wage rate project, obviously it's not going to be excluded. it's going to be included in the price, so that can get deleted. What's super nice with this too, you can select whatever you want, hit delete, and bam, done. So easy to edit as needed as well. You realistically should not have to edit a ton of this stuff at all, ever. Just FYI. And then it has all the warranty information and workers' comp information, and then all the legal mumbo jumbo that needs to be in there. All right, at the bottom of your format, this is where you're going to add your repair plan and floor elevation survey and anything else that you want on the proposal itself. We try to keep it simple with, you can put our limited warranty information that talks about our lifetime warranties that we provide for our product. You can put the product information like product details and load capacities and things of that nature. And the number one thing you want to put is your repair plan with your floor elevation survey. So that way they know exactly where you're proposing to do the work and why you're doing it in that area. You have to have a repair plan on there. Otherwise, you're giving me a blanket contract for $25,000, not telling me what you're going to do in my house. I'm going to be a little skeptical, not going to lie. We're trying to be as transparent as possible, and this will help us to do so. All right, so that's Format tab. Next tab, go over here, Preview. Again, you don't have to do anything in here. It's going to automatically show you unit quantities, and then total price, and then all the legal mumbo jumbo. Let's say that they wanted to have this part broken out. Again, it rarely happens, but sometimes you will have customers that want to see how everything's broken out. And so you can do that from the Format tab as well. So let's say we want to show the unit price and then the total price of each, so they can see how that's broken out. So now you see it added the unit price and total price of that for them to view. Now it shows it on your proposal as well. Again, we try to stay away from this just because not having this broken out, people are going to question certain things, but they're not going to question a total amount and making sure that the house is going to be fixed and fixed with a price that they're comfortable with. The more columns you add, the more opportunity you're providing to people to question certain things. So we want to keep it simple, stupid. And we're going to go back to our default. So I'm going to get rid of these. So that way it all looks legit and how I want it. Super clean proposal. You know, I've got 2 mobilizations and we got 10 push girders we're going to do. If I had my repair plan, it would be popped up here too as an attachment for that person to see, and they can click into it and view. Now, what's super nice with Buildertrend is that you are going to be able to send this proposal electronically to your customer. And we will do that in the very next step.